Hi guys, my name is Volodymyr Zaiets. I'm a member of community engineering team, and I'm working Magento in Adobe company about 5 years. And today I want to talk about Magento GraphQL and PWA integration. Namely, today we will talk about what is progressive web application, why PWA and GraphQL it's a great combination, what is exactly GraphQL, and of course, as a member of community engineering team, we will talk about community involvement. So let's start from PWA. And first of all, let's describe what PWA is. PWA, progressive web application, are hybrid application between general web pages and mobile application. What does it mean? In general, it's web application, but it contains, it has a lot of features of native applications. So let's describe these main features. And first one is offline capabilities. PWA allowed to cache selected static files, and it gives ability to browse most critical part of the website offline. Full screen mode, home screen icon, push notification, all this stuff we usually used to in native application, and it's really useful. That's the reason why I install a lot of native applications to my favorite website. Some trouble, I don't know what is happened. Okay, looks like it worked. Simplify development and maintenance. Because it's just a web application, we need just one code base to cover all our needs in mobile application and in desktop application. Comparing to the approach with the native application, where we need 3 fully separate applications for iOS devices, for Android devices, etc. The same things with install and update. Because it's just web application, all that we need to install application, it's just push one button to add the home screen icon to our mobile device. Comparing with a native application, when we should go to the Apple Market, App Store, Google Market, and etc. So when we to update our application, all that we need is just deploy a new version of our code. We don't need any requirements to the user to go to market and update its application manually. Background synchronization. That ability that gives our PWA to our offline capabilities is really good, that we can cache the static files. But also we need the cache data that can be changed. As example, price. Price can have a lot of reasons to be changed. As example, it can be some discount or Black Friday, etc. And we need to cache it. So in this case, background synchronization helped us because we need to update most critical data as fast as possible. Platform and device agnostic. It's another main point because, again, PWA is just web application in the real world. So all that we need is just a web browser, comparing to the, again, to the native application where we should implement the application for each of devices. And the browser currently great work on any platform, so we don't need any additional development for that. Fast performance and better user experience. That's the result of previous point. Offline capabilities, background synchronization do real improvement in performance, and features of native applications do real improvement in user experience. Okay, that's great, but what it gives for us from the business side of view? More customers and respectively orders. The reason of it is really great user experience. In our time, it's very important. We use mobile phone more and more. I'm a person who previously used my mobile phone just for browsing internet, but not for shopping. But currently situation. But current situation changed for me also because I more and more use my mobile phone to shopping, to buy some stuff in the internet. I don't know what's... and the reason of it... Sorry for that. Reason of it is real good user experience. Sometimes I buy stuff for prices that more than in other markets just because they provide a really good user experience. Of course, we can reach the same result with native applications, but what about cost? With PWA, we need just one team that will develop application uses one code base, develop application using just one programming language, compared with our needs in 3 teams that develop three different fully separate applications to cover all cases with all devices. Faster development. Of course, if it's just one application, we develop it faster than in case we need 3 applications. Customer retention. Usually, PWA allows to saving the information that the user previously accessed. That gives ability to show most critical part of website, like a cart, like maybe catalog, etc., in offline mode, and it's really increased the customer retention. Target audience success. Usually, when we install some native application, we're interested of it, and we usually allow to send push notification for us. We can use this and promote the products, and it will increase the chance that customer will be interested in our product. So in Magento, we decided to create the complex solution for to develop your own PWA sim, PWA application. Magento provides a few packages, and the first one is Upward. Upward is a server that places between progressive web application and the APIs. The main goal of Upward is create unified places for all API that PWA application use. All APIs configuration, like response and request mapping, placed in just one UML configuration file. You can install Upward server via npm package, like from Node Package Manager, or like PHP server via Composer installation. Magento Peregrine library. Its library provides a list of functional components and custom React hooks. The main purpose of this library is simplify development process. You can build your own team. Own sim uses already existing component, and it's really simplify development process, and development is faster than usually. I think you know the solution like Bootstrap and Material UI, it's pretty same, but in Magento PWA world. PWA build pack. PWA build pack is a set of tools that are directed to simplify and optimize your building and deployment process. In these times, it's very important because sometimes we can decrease the size of our front-end application in 2 or 3 times just using different set of tools of sets of optimization. So with our PWA build pack, we try to provide the best optimization for your own PWA application. Also, PWA build pack provides sample data for any sim, products, documentation and examples, development sandbox, and also it integrated with Google Lighthouse that will give you ability to test your application, to check performance, accessibility, etc. It's very simple and useful. And exactly Magento when you theme, it's a proof of concept. This theme uses all that stuff that I said before. It uses PWA build pack, Peregrine library, and you can investigate how it works. And you can look and understand. It will give you understanding how all that packages work together, how they communicate with each other. And also, of course, you can look how your theme can looks like when you use our Peregrine library. Currently, when your theme supports the product and category pages, and you can simply install and try it, play with it as well. Let's look what is already implemented, what you can use, and what are coming. So currently you can use the components to build your own product page, category page, checkout workflow, etc. And currently we are working to cover all product types, all payments methods, some components for menu. The full list of what is already covered, you can look in documentation, the link I added to my last slide. Okay, let's remind the main benefits of PWA and what we need to open full potential of it. So the main benefits is performance because it's really fast, and offline work as native application. Let's consider what we need to open full performance of these benefits. So we need for this optimal data fetching and data fetching speed. In general, it's important for any application, but even more for PWA application. Usually, when customers browse some website, he has a good connection, so the problem with redundant data loading is not so important in that case. And again, when customers browse the website, he don't expect that the page will be displayed in the same moment if he had a bad connection. But the expectation of the native application is a little bit different because the customer expects that the native application should work offline, maybe not full functionality, but some part of this view. Okay, like maybe catalog, his cart, his wish list, etc. That's why optimal data fetching and data fetching speed is so important. And in general, API is important because API provides the data for our PWA application. So in Magento, we decided to implement GraphQL API because it's most powerful and optimized API for today. So let's talk about GraphQL API. And first of all, let's describe what is it. GraphQL API, it's a query language for API that gives allow to specify what data we directly needed. It uses for that declaration and graph-like structure. So let's make a fast overview of main GraphQL features. And the first one is one entry point. In GraphQL, we send all our requests to just one entry point, to just one URL. Comparing to classic REST application where each entity represented but by its own URL, its own entry point. Returns only requested data. In GraphQL, we can specify what field we want to get, what the data we want to get. As example, if we want to get the customer first name, we can get just this one particular field instead of full customer entity. Ability to form data structure. Because we use graph-like structure, we can create our request and make really complex requests with any levels of nesting, etc. Inline documentation. In GraphQL, we provide declared documentation directly in the schema. That's give ability to write request and at the same time look to the documentation, look what this particular field means. It's really simple and it's really useful. And the main power of GraphQL is that we need just one request to get all data for our page. We can build really complex structure, and it's really great. We send just one request to just one entry point to get all data of our full page. Okay, let's look how it's working in code. As example, let's imagine that we want to get customer first name. All that we need to do is just declare that we want to get customer entity and his first name. And we simply get this data. Okay, let's imagine that we need one more field, like example, email. And we also simply get this data. All that we need is just add additional field to our query. And of course, as I said, we can get a more complex structure like with nesting level, etc. In our case, we get the addresses that are represented by a customer address entity. And the main power of GraphQL, we can get any quantity of entities in one request. So in our case, we get the customer entity data, the products data. Also, we can pass additional parameters like filter, sorting, etc., to get our request more our request more precise. Okay, we look how to simply use GraphQL. Let's look how it's implemented. First of all, we should declare the schema. We also use for that graph-like structure, and in our case, we declare the schema for customer and product entity. Each entity contains own list of the fields. It can be simple fields like email, first name and last name, and a more complex field like addresses that are represented by customer addresses entity that also contains own list of fields like street and city. And this flow can continue to any level of nesting. And how it's look like in the code. We need to just declare our types and provide the links between our types. In our case, we declare the type for customer with list of the fields like email, first name and last name that are represented by string, and complex field like addresses that are represented by array of customer address entities. Okay, we describe how to schema looks like. We describe how to simply get data, but what about cases when we need to update data or delete data or create new one? GraphQL provides just two types of requests. It's query that we should use in cases when we want to get data, and mutation that we should use in cases when we need to update, create, or delete data. Also, GraphQL provides a lot of constructions that are directed to simplify our development or usage experience. GraphQL provides interfaces for our types and num types that represented like a list of discrete values, and each num type can return just one value. Directives that give ability to GraphQL to change our response data depending to parameters that we pass it to our directive. And in this slide, you can see how default GraphQL model looks like in Magento. For that, we should create the several files. It's composer.json with configuration of the model, registration PHP to register our model in Magento infrastructure, and model XML. These files are not specific for GraphQL. It's general flow to create any model in Magento. Also, we should create the schema GraphQL file, where in this file we should declare our schema, provide our new types or extend existing one. This file is specific for GraphQL. And of course, we should provide the resolvers function that are responsible to get data for our new fields. And finally, how it's look like in real code. We should add new custom fields to our top query to get it in the top level, or to any of existence types, in our case into customer type, and also provide the type that will represent your field. It's pretty simple. Okay, let's look what is already covered by GraphQL and on what we are working on. And currently we can use GraphQL to get data to the product categories, shopping cart, checkout workflow, etc. And currently we are working on to cover all product types and all features of my account. Again, the full list of what is already done you can see in documentation. I will provide the link. And of course, I'm a member of community engineering team, and I also love to contribute, so I cannot finish my presentation without mentioning our community. If you want to start contribute, feel free. It's not depends to your skills. All that you need is just a wish. We will help you with all other stuff. We will teach you if it needed. It's doesn't matter developer you are or not, you're not developer. As example, if you are quality engineer, maybe Magento functional test migration project will be interesting for you. Or we have the maintainers on Magento 2 project that are responsible for quality of Magento 2. Or if you love to write documentation, maybe DevDocs project will be interesting for you. Also, we implement the website is directed to simplify flow to contributions that will provide information about our project, projects that we have that will provide information about schedule of our events. So we can look it on opensource.magento.com. Also, we are working to simplify workflow for our contributors. So we implement the dashboard for each of our projects. In this board, you can find the task and take it into the progress, take it into the development. But I want to mention the good first issue column. In this column, you can find the tasks that are not pretty hard, but it gives you a good introduction, good understanding of the project. So if it's your first contribution, take a look to the tasks in good first column issue. And of course, we are a community team, so we communicate a lot. We use for that Slack. Each of project has own Slack channel, so feel free to join. We're always glad to see new people there. And also we have weekly call or bi-weekly call on each of our projects where we provide some updates, news related to the project. In general, it's friendly call, so you also can talk about your contribution, how it was, leave your feedback, etc. So feel free to join. The schedule of all our events, all community meetings, contributions day, conferences, etc. You again can look on community portal, on community calendar page. And of course our top contributors on GraphQL and PWA Studio projects. These guys do a really great work, and I want to say thank you guys. And our solution partners that also do a huge contribution to our projects. And that's all. Thank you guys.